Well, the first and most important thing is that people come to have fun. And I would say that that spirit of playfulness is really at the heart of this work. So it can be silly, but that doesn't make it easy. I think that being silly and being playful actually can be quite hard, quite difficult. But the difficulty doesn't come from us having to learn something. It rather comes from us having to unlearn something. So that what makes the work difficult is that we often start from our heads. We think that we have to do this, or we have to do that, we have to be clever, or we have to come up with good ideas. And in fact, the more you think you have to do something, or it has to be done like this, the more it gets in the way of the work. So what learning consists of, it's more of an unlearning, you could say. And it's more about learning to free yourself from all of those little voices inside you that tell you have to do this, or that you're not good, or you're not. I would say that that's a lesson in freedom. For me, clowning is a lesson in freedom. So our work is quite different in a way that we don't work with face paints, we don't have pictures, we don't have custard pies. So we don't work with this stereotype image of the clown. Basically, we could do our work without a nose, without face paints. We would hopefully be recognized. We use a red nose, and we use slightly eccentric costumes. But that's so that people can recognize that we are clowns. But that's as far as we go. And then the rest is very, very much in the tradition of Jacques Lecoq and the way that he developed the mask work. So,
my name's Chris. I've done some clowning workshops before this, and I'm actually spending the term here at Emerson. And heard that this particular week's course was running clowning as an inner journey, and I recognised when I did my first workshop last November that it was important for me, although I've done quite a bit of acting and performing in the past, but the clowning is very different.
This seems to be much more of, if you like, an inner gesture rather than something that is entertainment. So when I speak to people about it, I often find myself explaining, no, it's not about children's parties and big feet and buckets of water, and it's certainly not about having big smiley drawn on faces and makeup and things. It's a very simple entering into that space. But I think that space is not about performance, and it's not about entertainment, and it's definitely not about trying to make people laugh. I think what it's about is entering into a space of naivety and innocence, and that can be very poignant, and it can often be very funny for other people to watch. And you know it when people are in that groove, and you know it in yourself when you get into that playful groove. I think it's about playing. And it's lovely to watch people playing.
Well, it takes you within yourself. You can't really do true clowning without looking at yourself. And if you don't want to do that, then don't do clowning, because it's quite exposing. And you meet yourself, whether you're on stage, in inverted commas, on your own, or whether you're with other clowns doing a threesome. It is very real, and it's about being real. Clowning, it's not about wearing masks and pretending. You might, as you're clowning, make things up, and you'll improvise and you'll imagine things, but it's always anchored in reality, and you're switching between one reality and another one.
Go for it.
Oh, she just labelled herself open there. What are
Yes, she's dying. Here's the sword. She's dying. She's dying.
She has so much to give in her dying. So much to give in her dying.
You and the ancients don't have redemption.
Give it! Give it to the world!
This is a great moment.
She's dying.
When I said I was going on this course, I have a friend who is a psychotherapist, and she was curious about it, and thought, oh, the clown. Now the clown has got that facade. And she said, I don't know how useful that is. And then after having come on the course, I realized that it actually is so useful to the psychotherapist, because that's what it's all about, is finding out what's on behind the mask and revealing that. So I think it's very therapeutic. And it's very therapeutic to the person who takes the clowning route, I think, because you just become more and more conscious of yourself.